When you think about old coins, you're really thinking about history you can hold in your hand. In the Netherlands, that history goes back a long, long time. Before the Dutch were even a thing, the land was home to Celtic and Germanic tribes. These weren't people who used a lot of coins, but they knew what gold was. The earliest gold pieces we find in the area are Celtic staters. These coins are fascinating because the Celts were basically copying the big players of their time, like the Greeks and later the Romans. They'd see a coin from a powerful empire and make their own version, often with really abstract and cool designs. It tells you that even 2,000 years ago, gold was the universal symbol for wealth and power. As the Roman Empire expanded, its influence and its money spread all over Europe, including the low-lying lands that would one day become the Netherlands. Roman legions marched north, establishing forts and trade routes along the frontier, known as the limes. And you know what soldiers need? They need to get paid. The Romans paid their troops in solid, reliable coins, and the best of the best was the gold aureus. These coins were like the $20 bills of their day, used for big payments and storing wealth. Finding a Roman aureus is like finding a little piece of the empire itself, a direct link to a soldier or a merchant who lived centuries ago. After the aureus, the Romans introduced the solidus. This coin was a bit lighter, but just as important. It became the backbone of the late Roman economy. These coins circulated widely in the Netherlands region, not just for paying soldiers, but for trade with the local tribes, and even as diplomatic gifts to keep the peace. When archaeologists dig along the old Roman frontier today, these gold solidi are some of the most exciting finds. Each one tells a story of power, trade, and the immense reach of an empire that shaped the world. It's the very first chapter in the long story of Dutch gold. The Romans eventually left, but their coins stayed behind. For centuries, these auri and solidi were hoarded, buried, and sometimes melted down. But they never lost their value. They set the standard for what a gold coin should be, a piece of precious metal with a trusted design, guaranteeing its weight and purity. This idea, this foundation laid by the Romans, would echo through the ages. It created a deep-rooted understanding of gold's importance in the region, paving the way for the incredible history of Dutch coinage that was still to come. It all started here, with the gold of Caesars and emperors. Every now and then, someone with a metal detector gets really, really lucky. They don't just find an old bottle cap, they find a treasure that rewrites history. That's exactly what happened in 2023 near the town of Bunnik. A couple of hobbyists stumbled upon the largest Roman-era coin hoard ever discovered in the Netherlands. We're talking about a massive trove of 404 gold and silver coins. It's the kind of find that makes headlines around the world. This wasn't just a handful of coins someone dropped. This was a lifetime of savings, a soldier's entire fortune, buried for nearly 2,000 years and waiting to be found. The Bunnik hoard is a numismatist's dream. It contained 72 pristine gold auri, coins that look almost like they were minted yesterday. These coins feature the faces of famous Romans like Julius Caesar and Emperor Claudius. But what makes this find truly special is the mix. Alongside the Roman coins were 44 British Celtic staters, including some from King Cunobelinus. This is the first hard evidence of a Roman soldier returning to the mainland, with treasure looted during the conquest of Britain in 43 CE. It's a snapshot of a specific moment in history, a story of war and wealth, all packed into a single buried pot. Another incredible discovery, made between 2020 and 2021, takes us to a different time and tells a different kind of story. Near the village of Hezingen, a detectorist uncovered what the locals now call the Devil's Money Hoard. This treasure wasn't a soldier's savings, it was a ritual offering. Over 100 gold and silver coins, along with beautiful gold jewelry, were found at what was once a pagan cult site. These items were buried around 700 CE, left as gifts to pre-Christian gods, probably in hopes of a good harvest or good fortune. It's a rare and intimate look into the spiritual beliefs of people during a time of great change. The Hezingen hoard gives us a glimpse into a world that was slowly disappearing. The items were buried over a century, but the site was abandoned in the early 700s. This was likely when the local leaders converted to Christianity, and the old ways were left behind. The coins themselves, rare Frankish gold issues, are valuable, but their context is priceless. They weren't meant for trade or commerce, they were messages to the gods. Finding them tells us about the transition from paganism to Christianity in the Netherlands, a pivotal moment in the region's cultural history, all revealed by the glimmer of gold in the soil. After the Roman Empire fell apart, Europe entered a chaotic period. Trade routes collapsed, big armies disappeared, and life became very local. In the world of coins, things changed dramatically. The massive organized minting operations of the Romans were gone. Gold coins, once common, became incredibly scarce. For centuries, silver became the dominant metal for currency. It was more practical for the smaller local economies that had emerged. Finding a gold coin from this period, what we often call the Dark Ages, is extremely rare. It was a time when wealth was measured more in land and livestock than in shiny metal discs. The people who came to power after the Romans were the Franks, and their Merovingian dynasty ruled over a vast kingdom that included the Low Countries. These rulers did try to mint some gold coins, but they were a far cry from the Roman auri. They produced small, often crude gold coins called tremises. A tremisis was just a fraction of the weight of a Roman solidus, maybe around 1 to 1.5 grams. The designs were often very basic, sometimes just abstract patterns or poorly copied portraits. These weren't coins for buying bread at the market, they were status symbols used by kings and nobles for gift-giving and showing off their wealth. The tremisis represents a fascinating chapter in numismatic history. It shows that even in a time of fragmentation and decline, the idea of a gold coin as the ultimate form of money never truly died. The Frankish kings knew that gold commanded respect. By minting their own, even if they were small and simple, they were making a statement. They were declaring themselves successors to the Roman tradition of power. These little glimmers of gold are the threads that connect the ancient world to the medieval one, keeping the concept of gold coinage alive through a very difficult period in European history. As the centuries passed, the Carolingian Empire under Charlemagne rose and fell, and gradually, Europe began to stabilize. Trade slowly started to pick up again, first locally, then across greater distances. The scarcity of gold in the early medieval period makes its reappearance all the more significant. It signals a return to a more complex and interconnected world. The little Frankish tremises were the placeholders, the keepers of the flame, until the day came when gold would once again become the engine of international commerce, setting the stage for the next great era of Dutch gold. By the High Middle Ages, things were starting to look up in Europe. Cities were growing, merchants were traveling farther, and a new spirit of commerce was in the air. This economic revival, especially in the powerful city-states of Italy, brought gold coins back in a big way. The first major gold coins to reappear were the florin from Florence and the ducat from Venice. These coins were beautiful, reliable, and made of nearly pure gold. They quickly became the preferred currency for international merchants. If you were a trader in Bruges or Amsterdam, you weren't dealing in small silver pennies. You were dealing in Italian gold. These imported coins were the spark that reignited the use of gold in the Low Countries. Local lords, cities, and provinces saw the power and prestige that came with these coins and wanted in on the action. They started minting their own versions, often copying the names and designs of the successful Italian models. You'd see Dutch florins and Dutch ducats pop up, all trying to match the quality and reputation of the originals. This wasn't about forgery, it was about adopting a successful standard. A merchant from Spain or Germany knew what a florin was, so a Dutch florin was instantly recognizable and trusted. This period was crucial for the economic development of the Netherlands. The region was a natural crossroads for trade, connecting the Baltic Sea,
the British Isles, and the Mediterranean. Having a stable and accepted gold currency was essential for this trade to flourish. It allowed merchants to make large transactions with confidence, knowing the coin they received was worth its weight in gold. It was a universal language of business. The gradual shift from relying on imported Italian gold to producing high-quality local gold coins was a sign of the region's growing economic independence and sophistication. The experience gained during this era was invaluable. The Dutch mint masters learned how to produce high-purity gold coins consistently. The merchants and bankers learned how to use them to build vast trading networks. This whole system laid the groundwork for what was to come. The initial adoption of the florin and ducat wasn't just about money, it was about joining a new global economy. It was the training ground that prepared the Netherlands for its own golden age, a time when Dutch gold coins would not just imitate the standard, but become the standard for the entire world.
When the Dutch Republic was formed in the late 16th century, it was more than just a political change. It was really the start of an economic superpower. This was the Dutch Golden Age, a time when, honestly, Dutch ships sailed every ocean, and Amsterdam became the financial center of the world. To power this global trade empire, they needed a world-class currency. In 1586, they introduced a coin that would become a legend, the Dutch gold ducat. Based on the trusted Venetian standard, the ducat was designed from day one to be the most reliable trade coin on the planet. It was an immediate hit with merchants everywhere. The success of the ducat came down to one thing: consistency. For over 400 years, its specifications barely changed. It weighed about 3.5 grams and was struck from .983 fine gold, which is, incredibly pure. The design was just as consistent and instantly recognizable. The obverse featured a knight in full armor, holding a sword and a bundle of arrows. The arrows were a powerful symbol, representing the provinces of the Netherlands, united and strong. The reverse had a simple Latin inscription inside an ornate box. A trader in Russia or India might not speak Dutch, but they knew that knight meant good gold. For larger deals, the Dutch also minted other gold coins. One of the most impressive was the gold rider, or gouden rider. As its name suggests, this coin featured a dramatic image of a knight on horseback, charging with a sword in his hand. It was a powerful statement of Dutch military and economic might. The rider was a bigger and heavier coin than the ducat, containing more gold and used for major transactions, like buying a shipload of spices or financing a new voyage. It circulated alongside the ducat and another coin, the double ducat, providing a flexible system for payments of all sizes. These coins were the engine of Dutch prosperity. They paid for the goods that flowed into Amsterdam from the East Indies, the Americas, and Africa. They were used to hire sailors, build ships, and establish colonies. The Dutch ducat in particular became so trusted that other countries began making their own copies just to get their coins accepted in international trade. Its reputation was so strong that it was used as a benchmark for value across the globe. The golden age of the Netherlands was built on many things: ships, spices, and stocks. But it was all held together by the unwavering reliability of its gold coins. History is always moving, and after the turmoil of the Napoleonic Wars, the map of Europe was redrawn. In the year 1815, the old Dutch Republic was replaced by the new Kingdom of the Netherlands. With a new form of government came the need for a new, unified currency system. Before this, different provinces often minted their own variations of coins. The new kingdom wanted to standardize everything under the authority of the monarch. This led to the creation of the modern guilder, or gulden system, which would define Dutch money for the next century and a half, with gold coins at the very top of the ladder. The goal was to create a modern, decimal-based currency that could compete with the other major European powers. The guilder was divided into 100 cents, a simple and logical system. But for international trade and for storing large amounts of wealth, gold was still king. The new government established a national mint and began producing a series of gold coins that were uniform in weight, purity, and design across the entire kingdom. This wasn't just about making money, it was about nation building. A single standardized currency helped unite the country and project an image of stability to the rest of the world. The cornerstone of this new system was the 10 guilder gold coin. It was designed to be on par with other major European gold coins of the era, like the French 20 franc Napoleon and the British sovereign. This was a very smart move. By making their main gold coin compatible with those of their trading partners, the Dutch made international transactions much smoother. A banker in London or Paris knew exactly what a Dutch 10 guilder piece was worth, which helped maintain the Netherlands' position as a key player in global finance. It was a practical decision that had huge economic benefits. This era of standardization marked a shift from the old, sometimes chaotic system of the Dutch Republic to a modern, centralized monarchy. The coins were no longer just symbols of provincial unity, they were symbols of the crown and the nation as a whole. The designs changed to reflect this, featuring the portrait of the reigning king or queen on the front and the national coat of arms on the back. This new series of gold guilders represented a new chapter in Dutch history, one of stability, monarchy, and continued economic importance on the world stage. The star of the Kingdom of the Netherlands gold coinage was without a doubt the 10 guilder piece. Everyone called it the gouden tientje, which just means golden tenner. First minted in 1818, this coin became the workhorse of Dutch gold currency for over 100 years, right up until 1933. Its specifications were set to compete on the world stage. It weighed 6.72 grams and was made of 0.900 fine gold. This gave it an actual gold content of 0.1947 troy ounces, a standard that was instantly recognizable to international bankers and merchants. It was a beautiful and substantial coin that shouted stability and wealth. The design of the golden tenner is a journey through Dutch royal history. The reverse was always consistent, showing the crowned Dutch coat of arms with the 10G denomination. But the obverse, the head side, featured the portrait of the current monarch. The series began with King Willem I from 1818 to 1840, followed by his son, King Willem II, from 1842 to 1848, and then his grandson, King Willem III, from 1850 to 1889. Holding these three coins is like looking at a family album of the Dutch royal house. Each portrait is a work of art, capturing the likeness of the ruler who guided the nation during that time. The most famous and collected of all the golden tenors are those of Queen Wilhelmina. She had an incredibly long reign, from 1890 to 1948, and the coins minted under her authority show her at different stages of her life. The earliest issues from 1892 show her as a young girl with her hair down. Later, coins depict her as a mature queen, and finally as an older, stately monarch. Collectors love these coins because they tell the story of a beloved queen who led her country through 2 world wars. The Wilhelmina golden tenors are not just currency. They are historical artifacts that chronicle a remarkable reign. Alongside the famous tenor, the mint also produced a smaller gold coin, the 5 guilder piece, or gouden vijfje, meaning golden fiver. As you'd expect, it was exactly half the size and value of the 10 guilder, weighing 3.36 grams with the same 0.900 gold purity. These were minted much less frequently, which makes them rarer and often more sought after by collectors today. They were issued for short periods under Willem I and Willem III, with a final, special issue in 1912 under Queen Wilhelmina. The golden fiver was a useful coin for smaller gold transactions, completing a practical and elegant monetary system. The 20th century brought huge changes to the world's financial systems. The gold standard, which had tied the value of currencies directly to gold, began to fall apart, especially after the Great Depression. Countries one by one stopped making gold coins for people to use as everyday money. The Netherlands minted its last circulating golden tenner in 1933. For decades after that, gold coins were things you kept in a vault or a safe deposit box, not something you'd carry in your pocket. The era of circulating gold currency had come to an end, and the role of these beautiful coins began to change. When the Netherlands adopted the euro in 2002, the guilder itself passed into history. But that wasn't the end of the story for Dutch coins. The Royal Dutch Mint, or Koninklijke Nederlandse Munt, an institution with centuries of history, is still very much in business. Instead of making money for circulation, it now focuses on producing stunning coins for collectors and investors all over the world. This shift has allowed the mint to honor its incredible history while creating new and exciting products for the modern market. The legacy of Dutch gold is alive and well, just in a different form. One of the coolest things the Royal Dutch Mint does is continue the 400-year-old tradition of the gold ducat. Every year, they issue new gold and double ducats for the bullion and collector markets. They still use the classic design of the standing knight with his sword and arrows, connecting today's collectors directly to the merchants of the Dutch Golden Age. These modern ducats are struck with the latest technology, resulting in flawless finishes and incredible detail, but they carry the full weight of their long and storied history. It's a perfect blend of old and new. Beyond the classic ducat, the mint also produces a wide range of special commemorative gold coins. These coins celebrate important moments in Dutch history, famous Dutch artists like Rembrandt and Van Gogh, and milestones related to the royal family. They are often produced in very limited numbers and come in special presentation cases with certificates of authenticity. These coins aren't just pieces of gold, they are miniature works of art designed to be treasured and passed down through generations. They ensure that the story of Dutch gold continues to be told, one beautiful coin at a time. The story of Dutch gold isn't confined to Europe. It stretches right across the Atlantic and is woven into the early history of America. Long before the United States was even a dream, the Dutch were a major power in the New World. Their colony of New Netherland, with its bustling port of New Amsterdam, was a hub of global trade. And what was the currency of that trade? It was the reliable, universally accepted gold and silver coins of the Dutch Republic. Ducats and other Dutch coins would have been a common sight in the markets of what is now New York City. When you think about the early American colonies, it's easy to imagine that only British money was used. But the reality was a chaotic mix of currencies from all over the world. Spanish dollars, Portuguese joes, French louis d'or, and of course, Dutch ducats, all circulated together. A colonial merchant had to be an expert in knowing the value of each coin based on its weight and gold content. In this confusing environment, the Dutch ducat stood out. Its reputation for consistent purity and weight made it a preferred coin for high-value transactions. It was a piece of stability in an unstable world. The influence of Dutch commerce on early America was profound. The trade networks they built, financed by their gold and silver currency, laid the economic foundations for the growth of the colonies. The Dutch brought a sophisticated understanding of banking, credit, and international trade to North America. The very idea of New York City as a center for global finance has its roots in the Dutch settlement of New Amsterdam, where ducats were used to buy furs from Native Americans and sell goods arriving from Europe. These coins were the lubricant for the engine of early colonial commerce. Even after the British took over New Netherland, the legacy of Dutch money lingered. The term dollar itself is believed to have derived from the Dutch daalder, a large silver coin. The trust and reliability embodied by coins like the Dutch ducat helped shape the American approach to money. When the time came for the United States to create its own currency, the founders looked to the successful European models, including the standards set by the Dutch. So, the next time you see a Dutch gold coin, remember it's not just a piece of European history, it's a piece of American history too.